of the day, Dr. S. Subramani, the General Secretary of Tamilnadu Science Forum. With these few words, I request our Principal Madam to deliver her presidential address.
Good morning to one and all. Join here for the entrepreneurship workshop.
Video on check madam deep paste. Madam.
My hearty congratulations to the coordinator, Dr. Ramani, and the speaker of the session, Mr. Vijay Kapoor session. It's a great pleasure to welcome Vijay Kapoor for our entrepreneurship international workshop. And thank you so much. And I expect your warm extension in future also, sir. Thank you so much. Hearty congratulations for the workshop.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. And here we go. It's 10:30, and today's guest, Mr. Vijay Kapoor, has achieved a lot of things, and he don't need any specific introduction. And the floor is all. It's 10:30, sir. Hi, sir.
Yes. Hi, Anand. Very, very happy morning to you.
Hi, sir. Happy morning.
So, am I ready to go?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Super. Okay. Let me start this morning by telling each one of you out there, loving you guys, love you so much. You may be wondering, this is supposed to be all about entrepreneurship. This is supposed to be all about love got to do anything with entrepreneurship. I've always believed love is the only emotion that makes our life worth living. Anand, before I start, is it clear, loud and clear?
Yes, sir, loud and clear. Little bit of things, but it's clear, sir. It's clear.
1 second. Now, let me just check if I can change my. Okay, I'm having some alternative internet connections. So yeah. So I was telling you, I was speaking to you about love, and you might be wondering, what's love got to do anything with entrepreneurship? I've always believed that love is the only emotion that's worth living for. Love is what makes our life worth living for. In fact, we need to learn to love, not only love ourselves, but love the world, love everything that's existential, whether it's plant, animal, other human beings. If you're able to have this expression of love, and whenever we speak about love, we always speak about the romantic love. And love is so much more than just romantic love. If I know you and I love you, then it's called a relationship. And if I'm able to love you even without knowing who you are, knowing that you are somewhere out there, some part of India, and if I'm able to love you even without knowing that, and take a responsibility towards ensuring that this 1 hour that we're going to spend together counts, I think that's true love. In fact, this is the Derby tag that we have, and the tag, all we speak about is love. The tag of Derby, the brand tag of Derby. Derby is a men's fashion wear brand, and a tag carries love in it. So we speak about love for plant, love for animals, and love for other human beings. Because a world that's divided through nations, a world that's divided by religion, a world that's divided by languages, a world that's divided by rich and poor, by our economic how we are. We need to unite this world through love. And love that's able to, make our expression, our feeling for one another true. And only then we can bring a sense of brotherhood and a sense of commitment and working together so that we're able to create a much more beautiful world. Now, the topic today is all about entrepreneurship. And what's entrepreneurship? Let's explain entrepreneurship. A responsibility of entrepreneurs taking resources from areas of lower productivity and deploying them in areas of higher productivity. That's what entrepreneurship is all about. To find a problem in the world and provide solution to it. And that's an entrepreneur's job. Can you spot the problem that is there in the world and how can you provide a solution to it? And that's what entrepreneurship is all about. In fact, we speak about so much about social service. Whenever we speak about social service, first thing that comes to our mind, can we write a check to a charity? Yes, you can definitely, write a check to a charity. You can, help people out through the. But I feel entrepreneurship is the greatest form of social service because an entrepreneur is the one who creates job. An entrepreneur is the one who creates economic surplus. An entrepreneur is able to lift himself by himself. In the process of lifting himself, he is able to lift the entire world around him. When an entrepreneur does a startup, he not only employs himself, but in employing himself, he's also able to provide employment to tens, hundreds, thousands of people. And when you employ people, probably the people whom you employ initially might have not had the type of resources. They might have come from a very impoverished background. They might have not have the upbringing that you had to do. They might not have had the educational qualification or the opportunity to get themselves educated. But when you are able to provide them employment, when you are able to uplift them, they will be able to use the economic surplus that they create through the employment to educate their children, to give their family, their wife, their parents, their children a much more better lifestyle, probably which they never had for themselves. And whatever the impoverished conditions, whatever sufferings that they had in terms of money not being there, availability of funds not being there, availability of resources not being there, probably the future generation, the children will not know what poverty is, and the generations to come will get uplifted. And that's the power of entrepreneurship. I know we are all students out here. I'm all students. We'll all be wondering, not as entrepreneurship. I've still not even got my head around what I want to do in life. Your part of entrepreneurship, funding, and all this he's speaking about. I'm still a youngster. What do I know about all these things? But I want to tell you one thing. I just want to tell you one thing. Who has the authority in the world to decide your economic worth? How do we give away this basic human right to somebody else? I know a lot of us want to go for jobs. Jobs is very, very secure. Or job number end of the month, we'll get a salary. Whether we are working, not working, end of the month, you get a salary. Job is the safest thing to be. It is very, very safe. Entrepreneurship is not like that. Because when you become an entrepreneur, you don't know whether end of the month, whether you will be able to provide a salary for yourself. First, you need to take care of your entire employees, pay salaries for them. You need to meet the overheads of rentals, your electricity, your EB bills, your telephone bills, the bank interest, money, suppliers' payments. After everything is over is when an entrepreneur can take salary. It's not a very easy job. I know it's very, very glorified in India. We all ask any third person, I want to become a business. The amount 90% of businesses shut down within the first 5 years of operations. 90%. 1 second, I'm going to shift my. Anand, is it clear now?
Yes, sir, loud and clear. Kunjam disturbance in the internet, but clear.
How is it now?
Yeah, it's going good, sir. Now it's clear.
Just shifted my internet connection because I've got alternative connections. So to ensure that whichever is getting a better connection, because I can see that it's not stable. Research shows that 90% of businesses that start shut down within the first 5 years of operations. Success rate is only 10% for entrepreneurship, not only in India, but globally. 90% of businesses fail. So I have a lot of people who come to me and tell me, I've got a great idea. I've got a beautiful idea, sir. In the idea will. idea is only 10%. 90% is implementation of idea, the execution excellence. We all fail to understand that anyone can get a great idea. But why people fail is because we don't know how to execute. The execution excellence is what will differentiate between an average idea and an excellent idea. How you? Because any idea, every idea is $1 million idea. How are you going to execute it? Do you have the type of, the type of approach to it? Do you have that execution excellence? Do you have the discipline within you to go and make this idea big and a successful project? Now, I was speaking to you something about entrepreneurship and speaking to you about how difficult it is to be an entrepreneur. But having said that, I'll give you a small example. There's a lion in a zoo. A lion in a zoo is very, very comfortable because he has his own personal, enclosure. The enclosure is close to about 1 kilometer enclosure the lion has. It's free. It can go wherever it wants within the enclosure. It will get food whenever the food time is. You'll have the caretakers of the lion come and throw food to it. In fact, the lion in the zoo, only one will be sitting like this and watching the food. Lazy, not wanting to get up and eat because it knows the food is not going to run away anywhere. Lazy, will be just sitting and watching. Then slowly go and eat the food. The lion in the zoo has, all comfort for it. It does not need to bother whether tomorrow I will get food or not. Whenever it is mating season, it will be given a lioness to mate. It has water, it has food, very, very safe. Now let's compare the lion in the jungle. The lion in the jungle doesn't know whether today it can catch its prey or not. In fact, for days and weeks together, they'll be hunting, and they'll not be able to catch a prey. There's no security to lion. In fact, the alpha lion can anytime be taken over by the younger lions. There's no safety for it. And if you're not the alpha lion, you'll not be able to mate in the pride. Only the alpha lion has the opportunity to mate. All others are mere spectators. The lion in the zoo has all the safety, but it doesn't have one thing what the lion in the jungle has, and that's freedom. It is within the enclosure. If it wants to leave the 1 kilometer enclosure and step anywhere else, it's not allowed to do. It's there stuck. But the lion in the jungle has something called as freedom. And that is about everything else. And that's what is the difference between being an entrepreneur and working for somebody. Somebody out there, some HR guy sitting out there is going to call you and tell you at the end of the month, at the end of the year in a HR appraisal, how your quality of performance is. What should be your pay scale? I think you only deserve 8% increase this year. But if you're an entrepreneur, you can decide what your economic worth is. You can decide your own targets. You can decide how do you want to live your life. How is it that you want to go and perform this year? What is going to be your targets? What's going to be a strategy? How are you going to have the processes and systems? How are you going to build a team? And that's the difference between being an entrepreneur and being an employee. Now that we've all decided that we want to take up to entrepreneurship, now let's get into the entrepreneurship and understand what it takes to become an entrepreneur. You're looking at me now, I'm 50-year-old, looking at a very, very confident man sitting out here. You might be thinking, super handsome, he's very, very confident. Yellow, long hair, full t-shirt, put biceps. You might be thinking, I will tell you a little bit about myself. You'll know. Now, 5 feet 5 inches, 5 height. All through my schooling days, all the kids geli பண்ணுவாங்க குல்லா கூடுவாங்க. And classல வரும்போது அப்போலாம் height orderல தான் classல உள்ள விடுவாங்க. So classல போகும்போது height orderல விடும்போது I'll be among the first 3 boys to run into the class. உள்ள போனோம்னா I'll go and occupy the back benches. ஏன்னா back benchல வந்து you feel very, very safe. ஆனா டீச்சர் வந்த உடனே அங்க பாப்பாங்க ஏதோ ஒரு குள்ளமா பையன் பின்னால உட்கார்ந்திருக்கான். கூப்பிட்டு வா தம்பி ஃப்ரண்ட்ல வந்து உட்காருங்க. ஏன்னா ஃப்ரண்ட்ல உட்கார்ந்தா out of love only. ஏன்னா ஃப்ரண்ட்ல வந்து உட்கார்ந்தா I'll be able to see the back bench. I'll be able to see the board. But if I sit at the back, தெரியாது. Out of love only teachers say, but on the front benchல உட்கார பசங்க எல்லாமே படிக்கிற பசங்க எல்லாம் தரிசாங்க. நல்லா படிக்கிற பசங்க. எனக்கும் படிப்பு சம்பந்தம் இல்ல. கிளாஸ்ல 60 பசங்க இருந்தாங்களா எனக்கு வந்து ரேங்க் வந்து 35th rank. அதுக்கு அப்புறம் எல்லாரும் fail. All the students fail. I'm 35th rank. Just pass. My rank used to be 35th, and I was not very good in studies, and I always believed that எனக்கு வந்து ஒரு திறமை இல்ல. I had huge inferiority complex, and all the boys in the front bench sitting with me எல்லாம் படிக்கிற பசங்க, first rank holder, second rank holder, all they'll ask me, Vijay, நீ வாழ்க்கையில என்ன பண்ண போறன்னு. நானும் கேட்பேன், நீங்க என்ன பண்ண போறீங்க? நான் வந்து டாக்டர் ஆக போறேன், நான் வந்து இன்ஜினியர் ஆக போறேன். All big ideas. என்ன கேட்பாங்க, நீ என்ன பண்ண போற விஜய்னு. I know with my type of marks. And அப்போலாம் mark sheet லாம் they will put the entire marks, they will put it on the notice board and keep. So போய் கூட சொல்ல முடியாது that I want to do this, I want to do that. எல்லாருக்கும் தெரியும் what my status is. So I used to tell them that I want to become a businessman. The businessman ஆகணும்னு I used to tell them. எனக்கும் businessman சம்பந்தம் இல்ல. அப்பா வந்து ஸ்போர்ட்ஸ் ஜர்னலிஸ்ட், இந்தியன் எக்ஸ்பிரஸ் பெங்களூர்ல வேலை பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காரு. அம்மா வந்து ஹவுஸ் ஒய்ஃப், 5 பசங்க, மிடில் கிளாஸ் ஃபேமிலி. அப்பாவுக்கு வருமானம் வந்து 1500 ரூபாய் ஒரு மாசத்துக்கு. அதுல he sent me to study in a Christian missionary school. In a Christian missionary school la vandu the type of fees used to be about 20 rupees, 30 rupees, so it used to be very affordable to study. So I went through school thinking that I'm absolutely useless. Finished school. In fact, in school the only time I went to the dais to receive a certificate, any award, was for a fancy dress competition. I've never won anything in life. I used to feel as if I'm invisible. I was not a bad student. I was not bad in that way, but I didn't have the confidence. I never was good in studies. Absolutely a lot of inferiority complex. So went through school, went through college, got out of college and got into my first job. And the first job was working with a company called as Maxworth Orchards. It's a sister concern of Sterling Resorts. They had a farmland. திருநெல்வேலியில வந்து ஒரு 300 ஏக்கர் வச்சிட்டு அது வந்து ஒரு ஏக்கரா டிவைட் பண்ணி அதுல மாங்காய் செடி போட்டு அந்த ஒரு ஏக்கர் we had to sell, one acre plots we had to sell to people in the city, non-resident farming. So whatever income they get from the mango chedi, the mango orchard used to be a non-resident farming, so it used to be tax free. I believe that can create a green revolution in India. I strongly believe. And now we have acres and acres of land that is not being irrigated. If someone is able to create a green revolution, India will grow. So with that passion, I went out to the field, I started selling. That is the first time I realized வேணா படிப்புல வேணா நான் மக்கா இருக்கலாம், ஆனா எனக்கும் திறமை இருக்கு. The talent that I had was I was exceedingly good in selling. I had great communication skills. If you put me in front of anybody, I could sell. I could sell anything. So when all my colleagues were struggling to do 60%, 70% target, and all are very talented people, but concept selling is very difficult because you don't have a product to sell. You have to sell someone Tirunelveli or Madurai. You have to sell them projects that they're never going to see. And the project was 1 lakh in 1992-93. Used to be very, very difficult. When all my colleagues were struggling to do 70%, 80% of the target, I month after month were able to do 150, 200% target. And the only difference was when all of them will come to work at 9:30 in the morning, 11 o'clock they will go for a tea break and a smoke break, and then get into the field, and 6 o'clock come back. I used to get in the field at 8:30 in the morning, go directly to customer's house. Till 10 o'clock in the night, I used to work hard. Hard work always succeeds. It's like a sales funnel. The more number of people you're able to meet, the more chances you're able to convert. It's very simple in selling. The more number of prospects you have, the more easier a sales funnel. So that's my first learning that I had in life, is you need to put in your hard work. There has to be intelligent, self-motivated, directed effort. And this effort, if I'm not as intelligent as others, I can understand. It's God's mistake. If I'm not emotionally stable, I can understand. It's a parenting mistake. But if I don't put in the required hard work for my success, it will be purely my mistake. It'll be purely my mistake. I'd request all the participants to put their...
Sir, I'm just doing, because a lot of participants are coming all the way after 5 minutes. So it's hard for me. I'm just seeing that. Give me a minute.
No, I understand.
Parallel பார்த்துட்டு தான் சார் இருக்கேன் சைடுல தான் அப்படி போயிட்டு நோட்ஸ் எடுத்து
பண்ணுங்க.
நோட்ஸ் எடுக்கணும், அது வேற இருக்கலாம் சார், வேற ஒண்ணும் சார். Give me a minute.
Not a problem.
Fine sir. Yeah, it's clear now. Thank you.
That's where I realized that எனக்கும் திறமை இருக்கு. Probably நான் படிப்புல வேணா மக்கா இருக்கலாம், ஆனா I was very good in selling. I want to speak about one incident that happened. நான் வந்து I came from an average middle class family. Throughout my life, எனக்கு எல்லா துணிமணி வந்து செகண்ட் ஹேண்ட். Either I'll get it, my brother will give me his clothes, or I'll have to borrow clothes from my uncle. Adu vandu alter panni I used to wear. So when I got into this first job, and I got into Max with others, every dress பண்ணனு எனக்கு தெரியாது. So நான் பாட்டுக்கு ஒரு அல்கு சோக்கா போட்டு, ஒரு செப்பல் போட்டு, ரப்பர் செப்பல் போட்டு, காலேஜ்ல இருந்து ரப்பர் செப்பல் தானே போட்டுப்போம். ஒரு ஜோலா போட்டு I went to apartment to sell. அங்க வாட்ச்மேன் வந்து நிறுத்தி சொல்றாரு, தம்பி எங்க போறீங்கன்னு. இல்ல நான் உள்ள போயிட்டு விக்கணும், ஸோ எனக்கு அப்பாயின்மெண்ட் இருக்கு, கொஞ்சம் பெர்மிஷன் கொடுத்தீங்க உள்ள போறதுக்கு. ஸோ இட் சேஸ் தம்பி வெயிட் பண்ணுங்க, அந்த போர்டு அங்க வந்து கேட்ல ஒரு போர்டு இருக்கு, போர்டு போயிட்டு படிங்கன்னு. போர்டுல ஏது இருக்கு, டாக்ஸ் அண்ட் சேல்ஸ்மென் நாட் அலவுட், டாக்ஸ் அண்ட் சேல்ஸ்மென் நாட் அலவுட். அது பார்த்த உடனே எனக்கு வந்து கண்ணீர் வந்துருது. ஐ வாஸ் நாட் ஏபிள் டு டேக் இட். வாட் அ வேர்ல்ட் தட் வி லிவ் இன். ஒரு மிருகத்துக்கும் ஒரு மனுஷத்துக்கும் வித்தியாசம் தெரியாத ஒரு உலகத்துல இருக்கோன்னு. I felt very, very bad. I felt extremely humiliated. I immediately left from there, went back home. I cried the whole day, I cried the whole night. Then I decided next day, I had about 150 rupees pocket jobல வந்து 150 ரூபாய் இருந்தது. அந்த 150 ரூபாய் வச்சு I went and bought one shirt, one trouser, borrowed a tie from a friend of mine, an old Bata shoe, polished பண்ணிட்டு I went back to the same apartment. And the next day, the same watchman was standing there. And then this new avatar of neatly wearing a full sleeve shirt, one tie, one shoe. He didn't recognize the same boy whom he sent yesterday saying dogs and salesmen not allowed. He saluted me and sent me inside. That was my second realization in life. That you should always, your ways, your methods, your dressing should represent the industry you come from. I know a lot of you say, what is there, what is inside is very, very important. But we need to realize the world always judges a book by its cover. Your dressing sense is your visiting card. Unless until you don't dress well, people will not respect you. So went on, I was doing exceedingly well. After a few years, I had about 1 lakh of rupees available to me. I had saved about 1 lakh of rupees available to me as incentive. A lot of incentive. My salary was hardly 1,250, but my incentive used to be high because I was selling a 1 lakh rupee project. I had 1 lakh of rupees saved with me, and I wanted to start a business. So I met a person by the name of Rajesh Malik. He said, come, let's join together and we start a Punjabi dhaba, a Punjabi restaurant. I said, wow, I always dreamed of it. So I said, you get 2 lakh rupees and come. I've already invested money. I've got this 200 square feet place in Chennai on Egmore. Let's join together and start this dhaba together. So I went to my father and told him, Appa, I've got an opportunity. I already got 1 lakh rupees saving. Neengla or lakh kudunga appa. I'll go and start. So what do you think my dad said? Appa enna sonarnu nenikirenga? நம்மளுக்கு எதுக்கு இதெல்லாம் வேணும்? We are all middle class family. Why should we be doing all this? For once, someone in the family is earning கை நிறைய சம்பாதிக்கிற, கை நிறைய incentive வாங்குற. Why you leave the comfort of life, your success that you have got a great career, you're working for a corporate and you're already growing up the ranks. You joined as a sales trainee, you already reached a sales manager in 2 years. You are the superstar. இதெல்லாம் விட்டு why you go and join that to business? Nobody in a family has ever done business. I cannot give you money. Leave it. Ana by that time I was a hardcore. யாராவது இல்ல சொன்னாங்க, ஆமா சொல்ற வரைக்கும் I used to go and do தொலை. So அப்பா வந்து என் தொலை தாங்காம ஒரு மாசத்துக்கு அப்புறம் he broke his provident fund account and gave me 1 lakh rupees. So அப்பா கொடுத்த 1 லட்சம் ரூபாய் என்கிட்ட இந்த 1 லட்சம் ரூபாய் I took and gave it to my partner and told him, partner, let's start the business. He also took the money and we were starting the interiors for the place. So while starting the interiors and doing the work, I had to, most important thing for a dhaba restaurant is chimney. I had to take a chimney. So I went all the way and asked I had to take a permission to take in the chimney and there's no way to take it out. So I had to go to the president of the building called as Bihari Lal and ask him, sir, will give me permission to take a chimney out because I need to open a Punjabi dhaba restaurant. So he tells me, yes, I will give you permission, but if you want to open a chimney, you will have to take it till the 14th floor. That's 14th floor is the building. And the cost of making the chimney was 2 lakh rupees. And that was the whole investment that we had. So I came back and told my partner, this is a problem, partner, what do we do? So partner said, give it a week's time, we'll take it. After a week, when I met my partner, he told Vijay, whatever money was in the bank, I've already withdrawn. Here is the key. You do whatever you want. It's your business. So before I started my business, I'd lost all my money. I had a half-done interiors. I didn't know what to do. And I knew if I go and tell my father will say, Sonanaliya. And while leaving my job, I danced my way out saying, I'm going to be a businessman. I'm going to be a businessman. Because all my life, I always wanted a businessman. And that's the power of the mind. What you think is what you become. the type of thoughts you have is a type of life that you will eventually get. So I'm asking you, what are the thoughts you have for yourself in your life? But in my case out here, I had a failed business even before I started. My business had failed. So I went back again, started crying in the night. I do this a lot. When things don't go right, I cry. Used to, not anymore. So I was crying in the night, wondering what to do because I couldn't tell this to anybody. I can't tell it to my father. I can't tell it to my friends. I can't tell it to my people, ex-colleagues. I don't know what to do. I felt very helpless. My partner's already taken all the money. I didn't know what to do. That's when I remember the incident from my first day at work, where the watchman had stopped me and told me, "Thambi, enga poringa? Dogs and salesmen not allowed." So I remember that incident and asked myself, how many people out there will be there, Vijay, who want to dress well and who cannot dress well because he doesn't have the money? Can you find a solution to that? So next day, with about 10,000 rupees that I had, I sold my bike, Yamaha bike that I had. My father had gifted me for my 18th birthday. I sold the bike. I went and bought 2 second-hand tailoring machines, Singer, put up the place, put up the name board called as Derby Gentleman Outfitters, 2 machine tailoring outlet. In that half-done interiors with a Derby board, Gentleman Outfitters, I started it. That's the job of an entrepreneur, finding a problem in the world and finding a solution to it. We are solution providers with that intention that I can help other people succeed, because I know the next day how the watchman treated me, the respect that I caught, the dignity that I felt when I wore proper clothes and I went. I wanted to give that dignity to every person out there to make him succeed in life. And with that vision, I started off Derby. Now, this has been my entrepreneurial journey from the beginning. This is 1994. Today, I'm sitting at 90 in 2022. It's more than about 28 years of being an entrepreneur. I've been through lots of ups and downs, seen everything, gone almost to bankruptcy, come back. And today we have a roaring business. We are a very successful brand, headquartered from Chennai in India. Now, there have been certain mental philosophies that has helped me tremendously along the way to, keep me aligned. A lot of time, I've seen a lot of youngsters all the time blaming everything around. Idu seriyilla, adu seriyilla, adu seriyilla, appa seriyilla, amma seriyilla, college seriyilla, and the government seriyilla. We keep on blaming. But I want to tell you one thing. One of the most beautiful mental philosophy that's helped me a lot is, my life is my responsibility and no blaming is allowed. Yennoda வாழ்க்கை என்னோட responsibility and no blaming. அடுத்தவனை போயிட்டு நான் blame பண்ண மாட்டேன். Very, very clear. My life, no matter wherever you've arrived in life, whatever you're doing in life, whether you're happy, whether you feel successful, whether you feel healthy, whether you feel wealthy, whether you're doing very well, or you feel, no, this is not the life that I want. I don't feel fit. I don't feel as if my education is going the right way. I don't feel I belong to this family. Whatever it is, your life is your responsibility. Because when you give away the responsibility, the word responsibility, let's explain that and expand that a little bit. Responsibility, responding with ability. What is the ability that you have to respond with? Because when you keep on blaming others, you start playing the victim. And when you play the victim, you feel you don't have any power to change what you're going through. It's only when you accept wherever you are in life, whatever junction you stand in life, whether it is good or whether it's bad, it's all a consequence of all the choices that you made in life. Your life is, after all the choices you make and the consequences that you get from life, that's called as your outcomes, and the counter choices and the counter consequences. That's how life is designed. So wherever you arrived in life is a consequence of whatever you have taken choices in life. So accept it. Having accepted it, now decide that you want to change your life and you want to take the life in the direction where you want it to go. For that, you need to invest consistent, directed, self-motivated, intelligent effort. I repeat, consistent, directed, self-motivated, intelligent effort. If you're able to do that, if you're able to give a direction to your life, if you decide from today onwards, I want to bounce back, then see how your life changes. First, accept it. Non-acceptance keeps you disturbed. Having accepted keeps you very, very peaceful. Second, I've always believed that I need to subordinate my likes and dislikes to the purpose of my life. Because the only alternative that I have to subordinate the purpose of my life to my likes and dislikes. If I've decided that I want to be the healthiest person in my family, if I decided I want to be the healthiest 50-year-old you can ever see, if I've decided that I want to create a legendary organization, if I've decided that I want to live a life where I'm perennially happy, happiness is the emotion that I bring into everything that I do. If I've decided that I want to be peaceful no matter what the external circumstances are, then I need to subordinate my likes and dislikes to the purpose of my life. If I decide to be healthy, let's take one thing. If I decided to be healthy, and when the wake-up call rings in the morning, we all have the wake-up call, we put in our phone and keep whatever time, 6, 6:30, 7, 7:30. And when the wake-up call happens, the first thing, there is a war within your head, the Kurukshetra within your head. Should I get up? Should I not get up? Can I, snooze it? We have technology given a snooze button. Snooze it for some more time. Get up after 15, 20 minutes. But you don't understand the amount of energy drain that happens in that war that you have with yourself in the morning. If you're not willing to subordinate your likes, if you're able to conquer the gap between waking up and getting up, if you're able to keep and honor commitments, if you're able to conquer the gap, then see how your life. So I've decided that my wake-up call is 6 o'clock every day in the morning, 7 days a week, 365 days, 6 o'clock in the morning, I will get up. No matter what time I've slept. I might have slept at 3 in the morning. I might have slept at 4 in the morning, but I will get up at 6 in the morning. There cannot be a difference between that. I will get up in the morning and I will put in the effort. There are days when I need to drag myself to the gym or to do the yoga or to push the weight. There are days when I'm not able to do it. But still I will do it, because if I've decided that I want to be the healthiest, then I will ensure I put in the effort to ensure that I make myself a priority, because I don't want to be a nuisance to the other members of the family. Because if I don't take care of myself, if I start getting a BP, if I start developing a heart problem, if I start having any other ailment, then the people around me, my wife, my parents, my siblings, my son, has to be sitting outside the hospital waiting for me. And I don't want to be a nuisance value to anybody else. I should take care of others. So I am asking you, subordinate your likes and dislikes to the purpose of your life, because only alternative that you have, you need to subordinate the purpose of your life to your likes and dislikes.
Sorry for the trouble. Give me a minute, sir. I think I want to mute this one. Go for the settings.
Perfect. No problem.
Sorry, sir.
No problem. No problem. Second, the third mental philosophy that I have, I always keep asking myself, I'm asking you, do you want to be a typical 20-year-old, or do you want to be a 20-year-old that other 20-year-olds can look up to? Because we have this choice. Either we can be a warning to the world, or we can be an example. We can be a role model. At every stage in life, I keep asking myself this question. Do I want to be a typical 50-year-old, or do I want to be a 50-year-old that other 50-year-olds can look up to? What is my choice? But if I've decided that I want to be a role model, if I decided that I want to be one above the crowd, and if I've decided that I want to, be an inspiration to the world, not because I want to impress anything on anyone, but I want to express the inner talent that I have, then I need to hold myself to certain character expectations for myself. Should your character expectation be greater from others than your own self, I want to turn it inward. Whatever I expect from myself is what I'll expect from others. If I'm not doing it, I will not expect from anybody else. Can I be a benchmark in anything that I do? Can I be the best at what I do? That is the expectation I have from myself. And that is how you should live your life. Can you actually start asking yourself questions? Because it's very easy for us, to be lost in the crowd. Do you want to be one who's lost in the crowd, or you want to be one above the crowd? Is a decision that you need to take. Now, when I started off and I was this 2-machine tailoring unit, you must have seen so many tailors, so many small businesses were there. In fact, I gave you the entire research that 90% of businesses shut down within the first 5 years of operation.
Sir, give me a minute. I'm just checking first. Sorry for the trouble. Participants, I just want everyone to mute. There are a lot of school kids as well as college kids are joining up. I want everyone to mute yourself, behave yourself, so that we can learn things from our guests. Okay.
Anand, is it possible for us to take some Q&A?
Yes, sir, sure.
Make it more interactive. So participants,
yes,
if you have any questions,
Anantaraj,
what I suggest is there's something called as chat box out there. Why don't you type in your questions out there? Then probably either Anand or Preeti could read it out to me, and then we could take it one by one.
Sure, sir. I have some few questions. அதுக்கு முன்னாடி என்கிட்ட நிறைய questions இருக்கு சார் உங்களுக்கு. சார் உங்களோட இன்டர்வியூஸ் பார்த்தேன் சார். Galata interviews and News 7 interviews சார். You said ஒரு பர்சனுக்கு ஒரு மென்டர் எந்த அளவுக்கு இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் அப்படின்ற விஷயத்த வந்து உங்களோட டவுன் டைம்ல உங்களோட குரு பத்தி சொல்லியிருந்தீங்க. அதே மாதிரி ஜெனரலா கேட்கிறேன், லைக் ஒரு மென்டர்ஷிப் எந்த அளவுக்கு இம்பார்ட்டன்ட், ஹவு டு ஃபைண்ட் அ ப்ராப்பர் மென்டர், இவர்தான் நம்மளோட மென்டர் அப்படின்னு, இஸ் தேர் எனி திங்ஸ்? எனக்கு அந்த இது கண்டிப்பா உங்கள்ட்ட இருந்து கேட்கணும்னு ஐ வாஸ் வெயிட்டிங்.
I'm just blessed. They say when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Most of the mentors that I've had in life have been people who came searching for me. I never went searching for them, including my own Guru Mahatriya, who's been a huge influence in my life. He's been my teacher, he's been my guru, he's been my source of faith. So they all came searching for me. As a student, I think it's our responsibility to make ourselves ready enough so that the mentors come searching for us. But having said that, not everyone is fortunate to find mentors that way. So you need to understand. Now let's understand what is mentorship. The mentorship meaning, a mentor is not a person who's going to tell you what to do, what not to do. He's not going to do that. He's something like a coach. The job of a coach is not to tell you how to play cricket. You're already Sachin Tendulkar the great, or you are, probably Kohli, who's extremely good in what he does, extremely good as a batsman, who's fabulous. But even a Kohli who's superb in what his player needs a coach. He needs a mentor.
I'm just asking the host to mute the entry. இதுக்கப்புறம் ஆட் ஆகிற ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்லாம் let them see through our YouTube streamings. So இதுக்கப்புறம் ஆட் பண்ண தேவையில்லை சார். லைக் என்ட்ரி ஆகும்போது just mute all. Thank you, sir.
No problem. So basically, even if you're Kohli, one of the best batsmen that you are, even you need a mentor, even you need a coach, because the job of a mentor is not to teach you how to play cricket. You're already good at playing the cricket. A mentor is one who will reflect you to you. If you're playing a stroke and probably the stroke is, not giving you the type of results that you want, he will just do the small tweaking that will help you correct your game and take it to the next level. And that's what mentorship is all about. There's a difference between coaching and mentorship. A coaching is one who teaches you how to do things, and mentorship is already when you become a certain level of expert in what you do. Then you need a mentor to help you fine tune. Everybody needs a fine tuning. That fine tuning is what a mentor does. And you need to decide what are your weaknesses. Once you know what your weaknesses are, for which you need to sit and observe yourself, for which you need to observe your thoughts, you need to observe your actions, you need to observe your feelings, for which you need to be in a position to sit quietly and go through your entire life and see what is holding me back. What are the stories I'm telling myself? So it's very important for us to, find the right mentor, but by only observing ourselves and finding out what our weaknesses are and what weaknesses need to be worked on. Then find out who is the best out there and go and approach them. And believe me, people on the top always have the time. You'll be thinking because he's on the top, he doesn't have time for you, but it's the other way around. People on the top are always looking, since they've already succeeded, since they already know the type of hardship that they've been through, they're always willing to help others. In fact, I love what Khalil Gibran beautifully said. The coffers of those who give are never empty. The more you give, the more you share, the more you share your experience with others, the more you're able to help and more you feel better about yourself. And that's the only reason I'm here. I'm here because I believe I owe a moral responsibility to the world. I come from a sense of responsibility. I come from a place of love because I want this world to be a much more beautiful place. I've been through most of the struggles that the students are going through today. I've been there. I've experienced this. Probably it's been crazy. So I've been through the worst of times and I know what you go through. And I've been through the best of times. Now that I've reached a certain status in life where I'm able to look at life with certain maturity, I know how things are. And I'm living a beautiful life, not because everything is going right in my life. Life is beautiful, not because, in spite of all its imperfection, not because everything is going right. It's because I've decided that I want to live a beautiful life. It's because I bring happiness to whatever I do. I do everything with a sense of peace. And I want to share this with people around. I believe that every human being has a right to live a very happy, loving, successful, and economically fulfilling life. And that's what my mission is. And that's why I'm here. Yes, Anand.
Yes, sir, great. Sir, அப்புறம் இன்னொரு கொஸ்டின் சார், the energy you bring in, அதாவது உங்களோட இன்டர்வியூஸ்ல நான் எல்லாத்தையுமே பார்த்தேன். That's what we are discussing, myself and Preeti. Since she don't understand Tamil, so we used to discuss in English. That's what I was telling her, and she's also seeing a lot of interviews. She used to ask what is the Tamil word he has said and what is that and what is that. But still, the more I personally study about you, have made me a lot of changes personally. Especially for the past 1 to 2 weeks. Earlier உங்களுக்கு எனக்கு தெரியும், நம்ம பிரான்ச்சஸ் நான் பார்த்திருக்கேன், என்னோட ஹோம் டவுன்ல இருக்கு. இதுக்கப்புறம் என்னோட வே ஆஃப் சீயிங்கே மாறிடுச்சு. லைக் என்ன சொல்றது, அது வந்து ஒரு தனி ஃபீல் சார். அது இட்ஸ் லைக் கிரேட்லி இன்ஸ்பைரிங் பர்சன் யூ ஆர். அந்த எனர்ஜிக்கு உங்களோட மார்னிங் ரொட்டீன், வாட் இஸ் யுவர் மார்னிங் ரொட்டீன்?
Okay, there are three things for energy. Initially, when we are younger, there are three sources of energy. First is your physical source. Can we ensure that we spend some time investing in exercising? Okay, let me speak about morning routine so it helps in, more of practical what has to be done. See, I get up at 6 o'clock every morning. For me, it's very important. There should not be a gap between wake-up call, time between when I wake up and when I get out of bed. Soon as the wake-up call happens, I jump out of bed, literally jump out of bed. I jump out with energy, I jump up with happiness, and immediately go down in my knees. So my first thoughts are that of gratitude. And my prayer is very, very simple. Thank you, my Lord, for giving me another day at life. Of the millions of people who went to sleep last night, not everybody got up this morning. They didn't get up this morning. Thank you for giving me this another day at life. I promise you the way I live my life today will be out of enthusiasm, will be out of intensity, will be out of love, will be out of happiness, will be out of giving my 100% to ensure I'm able to lift myself by myself and lift the world around me. These are my prayers every day. And then I have my wife lying next to me. I get and start, telling her, thank you for being such an amazing wife. Thank you for loving me so much. Thank you for giving me. For me, morning is all about gratitude. My first thoughts are all about gratitude for the beautiful life. I've got a ceiling over my head. Now, I've got work, I've got colleagues, I've got a team. What a beautiful life. Then I come out of it, then I go to I've got a separate room, which is my room sort of. So it's a beautiful place where I sit. I listen to some beautiful music in the morning from 6 to 6:30. I listen to some lovely soul-filling music. I dance. Sutti, I dance. I dance like a madman because I feel the energy. I feel the joy. I've been given a beautiful morning. So I celebrate. I dance. I feel happy. I feel excited. I take in the existential energy. You can feel the energy. Right now when I lift my hands, my entire fingers are tingling with the existential energy pouring into me. Constantly in commune with the Creator. Constantly. I can feel the energy. I can feel the expression. I know it sounds very thin, but some things have to be experienced for it to be felt. Then after that, at 6:30, I have a beautiful gym and yoga. So I do yoga on the terrace, facing the sun. I do very slow yoga for half an hour, feeling the stretch in every body part. In fact, I do only 4 Surya Namaskaram. 4 Surya Namaskaram takes me about half an hour's time. Beautifully stretched, do a lot of postures that helps in building the body. Then I go and do weight training. I love to push weights. So one part of the body, either hands, legs, shoulders, chest, one part I do it, then again stretch, come back, And after I do all this, again, I meditate after completing complete workout, because that's the time when you can actually absorb the energy. Sit, savanasana, go down, finish up, come back, take a bath, have a breakfast, spend some time with my wife, get to office by 10 in the morning. And generally my entire year is planned well in advance. I don't do planning of the year. The whole calendar for the year is drawn well in advance. So I know exactly what are my quarterly goals, what are my monthly goals, when do I have my meeting schedules. And it's a very, very structured life that I live. But I spend 15 minutes before I start my day in terms of understanding how I'm going to live this day. What are my priorities for the day? What is it? 5 or 6, not too many things, 5 or 6 things that I should do. What is very, very important. Because most of the time, how we live, those for people who are pressed between what is important and what is urgent, will do what is urgent because that's working on you. Urgency works on you. I decide every morning what is important for me and what is urgent is somebody else's urgency, not my urgency. So I always decide what are the most important priorities for me for this day. I write it down and I do these, what I need to do. Finish by about 6:37 in the evening, get back home, have a quick dinner, have a half an hour with my wife. Then we sit, we watch some TV for about half an hour. Then I like to spend some family time, go out for a movie or do a lot of stuff. 10 o'clock, sit, meditate, sit in silence. Meditation, very big word. Gamnikada, just sit in silence, go through the whole day because I promised so many things in the morning. I told myself I'll do this, this, this. Did I do it? And I've got something called as the attendance registry. 11 things that I want to do on my life. Will I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning? Will I ensure? Will I get? So I have this 11 things that I mark attendance for myself because in an organization, we so often call people and say, did you do this? Did you do that? We are not accountable as entrepreneurs. We are not accountable to anybody. So I make myself self-accountable on a daily basis, marking. Have I done these 11 things that I promised myself on a daily basis? Simple things. Because nothing great in life has ever been achieved without discipline. That's a master key. If you're able to discipline, because we all live one day at a time. We speak about life, but we think it is so big. Only one day. Every morning you are born and every night you die. If you're able to live this one day, because this is the present moment that is there. Your past is past, future is future. You only are here in this moment. If you're able to live this one day, the way you want to live it with happiness, live it with love, live it with compassion, live it with energy, live it with hard work, live it with focus, then your whole life will, because every day you get the same opportunity. You only build your life one day at a life. And I strongly believe in that, the power of one. If I'm able to live one day at a time and live it with intensity, I'll definitely succeed. And that's the secret of my energy. That's the secret of my always being happy, blissful, always connected. Yes, Anand.
Yes, sir. Preeti, you have any questions for our guest? I think she too has questions. Preeti, you are on mute. Unmute yourself.
Actually, I got the answer of many questions without asking. So you carry on with your questions because so many questions were connected and related, and I got the answers.
Okay, I think there are some questions being put in the box, so I'll read one of them.
Sure.
First of all, hello Kapoor sir. I am
Tamil Money and
Tamil Money. My question is, which age was right for making life-changing decisions like startup business or career? Okay. So I started my business when I was 23. But if you ask me, I strongly believe invest your time, invest your complete focus between the age of till about 22, 23 in studies. Education is very, 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 very important. I can tell you that education is most important to lay a foundation for you to understand how to live a beautiful life. It's very, very important that you get yourself well educated. Till about 23, 24, please ensure you're educating yourself, you're completing a master's degree, get yourself well educated. From 23 to 30, decide what your passion is. And all of us keep asking, I don't know what to do, how to do and all that. From 23 to 40 till 30, Wherever your passion is, work in that industry. If you think I'm very passionate about developing video games, and join an organization that's developing some, some technological breaking, innovative video games that you're into. For example, I love clothing. So get into a clothing industry. So from 23 to 30, get into an industry that you're passionate and learn everything that you need to know about the industry. Because it's maybe that you're very, very good in one, you may be very good technically in one thing. But to run an entrepreneurship and run a business is not enough that you're very good in one thing, but you should be good at every aspect of business. You should be good at finance, you should be good at marketing, you should be good in sales, you should be good in IT, you should be good in production, you should be in supply chain. Only if you're able to get the whole gamut of it will you be able to succeed. People think I'm good in one aspect, and then with that one aspect, you want to become a businessman. It doesn't help. Most of the startups that shut down is because the entrepreneur only understands one aspect of business. So from 23 to 30, get into an industry that you are passionate in and become a management trainee and learn that industry from every department. Go from one department to another. Go from marketing to finance, from finance to accounts, from accounts to go to your IT, from IT go to your product development, from product development go to your supply chain. Learn every aspect of that particular industry till you master it. And while doing it, the salary that you get, ensure at least 25% of your salary is by discipline taken and put into a savings bank's account, which is saving. So for the 7 years, 8 years of your life, the savings that you do will be the investment that you have to start your business as 30, 31. Now you're all not only very good in understanding what you want to do, your passion, you're good at all the departments. You've already strengthened yourself in one thing you're very good at. Plus you also have a capital. With that initial capital, small beginnings, incremental improvement, and sustained progress will lead to humongous possibilities. I repeat, begin small. Whether it was Steve Jobs, who started in the garage, or whether it was Dhirubhai Ambani, who started up as a petrol bunk operator, or whether it is Derby that started off with a 200 square feet tailoring unit, then building into a franchise business and taking it, expanding it. Start small. Small beginnings, incremental improvement. Keep improving on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis. See how you're improving and sustain it. Most of the time we give up because we're not able to sustain. We get bored. We want new challenges. We get bored of what you're doing. Sustained progress will lead to humongous possibilities. So once you have the saving, invest that money and start your business. Stop borrowing. And I don't believe in this whole concept of, borrowing money to start your business. I know this whole thing is about funding. The new funda is, what is my valuation? Making 50 crore rupee loss. You may have 50 or 500 crore valuation, but what use is your business is a loss-making business. So please don't get into this whole thing about funding. If I have the money, I can do it. If you have the passion, if you have the idea, if you have the methodology, if you have the structure, if you have the systems, if you're able to build a team, if you're able to work passionately, if you're able to ensure you're able to build the right business model, and if you're able to test the business model before you launch it. All of us launch it, then we want to test the business model. It doesn't work. You need to do a design thinking process of actually understanding how to work your design. How does a business model work? Find your smallest viable audience. All of us want to, I want to be a national brand. I want to sell it all over India. Today, it's not about mass. It's all about niche. Find the smallest viable audience out there. Find the fringes of people who want your product and service. And with minimum investment, how can you make it work? How can you show a working business model that is profitable? Then you see how investors come searching for you. You don't need to go and search for investors. The minute you have an idea, go searching for investor without having a viable business, viable product, and you don't have a viable business, nobody is going to fund you. Then you think people don't fund, people don't understand. Why should they understand? You don't have a product that will survive. You're already making a loss. I can understand you're making a loss for first 1 year, but you're 5 years, 6 years into it and still making a loss. When will you make profit? It doesn't make sense. For every one business that you see, one Swiggy that you see that goes and succeed, one Amazon that you see that goes and succeed, one Uber that you go that goes and succeed, There are lakhs of businesses that failed. You think, oh, Amazon was making losses for 20 years, so I can also do the same. One Amazon managed to succeed, but what about the lakhs that shut down? Burning so many people's money, hard-earned money. Please don't get into this foolishness of how I want to raise money, how I'll do business with other people's money. First, save your money. Earn. Know the meaning of money. You cannot do it on the strength of your father's money. You cannot do it on the strength of borrowing money. You cannot burn someone else's money. It should be your money out there. You need to know the pain that it takes to earn that one rupee. You need to know the pain that it takes to sell one product. You need to know the pain what it takes to earn that 1 rupee. Then you will see how your business grows. You should have the pain. அப்படிதான் வலி இருந்தா தான் புரியும். வலி இல்லைன்னா புரியாது.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I'm asking all the participants, to mute. எல்லாரும் mute பண்ணிடுங்க. Check பண்ணிக்கோங்க ஒரு வாட்டி. Bounce ஆகுது. Meeting settings மாறிக்கிறதுனால, so it is getting automatically connected. I want எல்லா participants mute பண்ணிக்கோங்க. கொஞ்சம் check பண்ணிக்கங்க. Good. Fine. So thank you, sir. Time.
Thank you so much, Anand. I think it's already about 11:30.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
and we call it a
break off now.
Sure, sir.
Thank you so much.
உங்களோட social handles நீங்க இங்க WhatsApp chatல கொடுங்க sir, like so people can follow and see things, because
you go to Instagram and search Derby Vijay. Facebook, you will find Vijay Kapoor Derby. You don't need anything. You just have to search Derby Vijay. You get Derby Vijay. Please follow me. I post at least about 3 interesting videos, reels every day. You'll find it very inspiring. You'll understand what entrepreneurship is all about. And I do it very transparently. So wish you guys an amazing future. The only reason I'm here is to express myself and tell you guys I've been in your space. I know life looks very foggy. It looks very, very difficult. Don't know. A lot of people may be there in that stage, but have confidence, have faith. If you are able to believe, and if you're able to draw a line to your past and say, today is the first day to my life. If you're able to say, my yesterdays are over with yesterday, and from today onwards, I'm going to start living the type of life I think I deserve. And not because someone came and spoke to you, not because Vijay Kapoor spoke to you, but because you decide that you want to change. And you decide that you will go to sleep, and the one who wakes up tomorrow morning is going to be the new you, is going to be the new person who believes that they can go and do it. And tannambikkai mattum pathadu. Back all your beliefs with consistent, directed, self-motivated, intelligent effort, and see how your life goes forward. And I want more of you to become entrepreneurs. That is my only prayer. I started the whole thing about entrepreneurship, and someday, probably 5 years, 10 years down the line, if we meet each other in some airport in New York, or probably in Amsterdam, or one of these airports, and you tell me, I heard your talk, inspiring millions, and today I've taken up to entrepreneurship and a very successful entrepreneur, I think that's the day when I felt that this talk was worth giving. So thank you guys. Love you all. Have a beautiful life. Have an amazing future. God bless. Thank you, Anand. Thank you, Preeti. Thank you, Selvi, madam. All the best. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye, and have a great day, sir. Thank you. I want all the participants to mute yourself, please. Participants mute பண்ணிட்டு உள்ள வாங்கம்மா. சரிங்களா? நிறைய கிட்ஸ் எல்லாம் இருக்கீங்க. So பார்க்காதவங்க you can reach, YouTubeல போய் நீங்க பாத்துக்கலாம். சரிங்களா? YouTubeல ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுவாங்க. You can go and see your YouTube channel.
ஹலோ ஆனந்தராஜ், நீங்க ஓவரால் மியூட் போட்டுடலாமே, நீங்க அது பண்ணிருக்கலாம். ஓகே, அன்மியூட் பண்ணுங்க.
அது பண்ணாலுமே பவுன்ஸ் ஆகுது. இப்ப பார்ட்டிசிபென்ட்ஸ் வெளியில வெயிட் பண்றாங்களா? ஆக்சுவலி மீட்டிங் செட்டிங்ஸ்ல போய் அதை மாத்தணும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். அதெல்லாம்
மாத்தி உள்ள வரும்போது மீட்ல தான் வருவாங்க
சார். அப்புறம் அது எப்படி சார் ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா பவுன்ஸ் ஆகுது?
ஆகாது. நீங்க வந்து அன்மியூட் கொடுக்கும்போது அதுல ஆப்ஷன் இருக்குது, அந்த ஆப்ஷனோட தான் கொடுக்கணும். அதாவது அவங்க ஓபன் பண்ற மாதிரி ஆப்ஷன் இருக்கு, ஓபன் பண்ண கூட ஆப்ஷன் 2 இருக்குது. அப்படி பண்ணாதான் ஓபன் பண்ண முடியும்.
சார் எனக்கு நான் பேசுறது கேக்குதா சார்?
கேக்குது.
எனக்கு அது புரியுது சார். இப்போ மீட்டிங் செட்டிங்ஸ்ல தானே இருக்கும் அது?
இல்ல மீட்டிங் இப்போ இதுலயே மியூட்ஸ்லயே இருக்கும். சரி, நாளைக்கு நான் சொல்லி தரேன். முடிஞ்சா இது ப்ரோகிராம்?
முடிஞ்சு சார். Thank you and have a great day to all. Thank you.
அடுத்த செஷன் எப்ப உங்களுக்கு?